Everybody in the back, ready? Okay. All right. Let me know when you are. Good. Okay, Coach, you can start us off.
It's, just so proud of our young men. You can't win a game or lose a game in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. You have to play 60 minutes. Is something we've preached since we've been here. And really, that's all I told them at halftime. And to be very candid, felt like my heart got ripped out right before half on the fumble for points there. And felt very confident all week. That's the only time I started to waver a bit and just felt just so anxious and sick. But we settled down at halftime and just preached to our kids, play 60 minutes. We felt like we found something right before half, and that's one thing I was wanting to try right before half, and it caused us a fumble there, but ended up helping us in the second half and some things that we wanted to do to try to get some points on the board. But, at the end of the day, it's just, we get in this job to mentor young men first, and I preach that to our staff, and I have the best staff of men that you want your kids around. And these are great life lessons. Sometimes you're on the other end of it, and it stings and it hurts, and we've had our share of those, and it sure is good to get them to experience the other side of it. We give tremendous respect to Coach Saban and Alabama. They've been the gold standard for this conference for a long time. And it's a huge win for our program, our fans. It's been a tremendous day. We have the best fans in the world. And, to really, credit goes to God's goodness to us, His favor, and certainly our kids fought their guts out.
Raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you.
I'm assuming that you're referring to something you saw in the passing game. Can you talk about the second half that Bo had specifically, and then what it means for you to see him have this success with all the good Bo, bad Bo narrative that goes on?
I appreciate you saying that. I have respect for the job that you guys do. I know that it's not easy, but sometimes these kids take way more of the criticism than they deserve, and maybe when I don't know that they get the equal treatment on the other side of it, and I could be biased. But he managed the game extremely well for us. Nothing's going to just jump out on the stat sheet that's going to wow anyone, but that was kind of the plan that we talked about all week. We really felt like our defense was good enough to keep us in it against a very, very talented offense that stresses you in all kinds of ways. And he managed the game very nicely. In the second half, made some big-time plays, and really I thought had a couple chances for some more. I have to watch the film, but it looked like we should have called one on a little bender route, that we had a really good call for what they were in. And then I thought he threw he had Laquan on a little double move on the sideline and maybe threw it a little bit behind him. But man just played so solid, and that throw, that last touchdown, that ball was right where it needed to be for us to score. So Kent, who knows what the next week holds, but I know tonight Bo played and led his team to defeat, depends on which poll you look at, the number 1, number 2, or number 3 team in the country, and he deserves credit for being a big part of that.
Hugh, what gave you that confidence during the week, and did you feel like your team had it too?
I felt confident all year, really, ever since fall camp. I really just felt like our kids, we had, number 1, defensive depth. And I know if you play good defense, you have a chance. And our special teams have been pretty solid, with the exception of here and there. But our depth over there, losing T and Chief and Carlos hurt it some, but just, I see the accountability growing on our team. And if you have talent and you have kids that buy into a vision and are accountable to each other and hold them accountable to doing that, there's good enough players on every team in this conference to win games. So I've just felt the peace, except for last week. I said that publicly. I felt very anxious last week with the Memphis game. I did, but this week I've enjoyed the heck out of it. I enjoyed the prep. I enjoyed, our time was stressed a little bit among other obligations that Kyle gave me, but other than that, I was real confident. And just, I like the way our kids go about preparing for games. We don't get too emotional or too dejected. We just kind of are going about our business, and that's what I preach to them every day in here is, man, just the only thing you can control is staying in the moment for today and preparing for whatever's next.
You, as big as this one is, you looking forward to going through this every week in this division?
I was talking to Coach Saban before the game, and I said, heck, in the NFC East, you can go, 8-8 or 9-7 and make the playoffs. And in this deal, I've said it before in our press conferences here, I really believe all 7 teams in the West are top 25 teams. And I still believe that, and we'll believe it at the end of the year, but some of us are going to have several losses. So that's the bad thing about this deal is, man, we just won, I don't know if it's the biggest win in program history, or, I can't measure it next to the Archie years, because I wasn't really involved in those, but boy, we've got to put it in the trash tomorrow, because we got to go down to a very difficult place to play College Station and play A&M, so we won't get to enjoy it too much. And we, as you know, Mark, we got all of them right in a row. So hopefully we can stay healthy. That will be big.
You just talked about the effort of your defense. I mean, after having a good performance last week and a tougher test this week, how they kind of stood up to that challenge.
They just answered the bell time and time again. And I've told everyone all week, you won't stop this Alabama team. You just don't. I mean, they have too much talent in the offensive line, tailback, quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends. You just can't stop them. You have to be very stingy in the red zone, and you have to find a way to try to win some third downs and not give them explosive plays. And what I thought we did pretty well was not give up explosive plays. We gave up, I know, one. It could be more, but they resulted in some points for them, and we shouldn't have given that one up. We had a good call for that route that they ran, but they just, they just keep playing, and they believe. At halftime, they believe that Denzel and Sinquez said, Coach, you just find a way to score 10 points, we're going to win. And I don't know if that would have got it done, but they're a confident group.
Coach.
And Dave and his staff do a great job too, game planning.
Coach, all year the concern, the question mark's been the offensive line, but obviously against a great DL, they rose up tonight.
Yeah, 23 first downs is pretty dang good against that group, and they're so deep and so strong and physical up front, and they can sit there and play you in a two-high shell and stop your run game, and constantly you're putting you in difficult places to try to find some matchups. And when we got the matchup with Laquan into the boundary, we took advantage of it as much as we could. But they just stretch it. They make it difficult to plan because they're in and out of odd and even and with the same personnel grouping. But really, at the end of the day, it's about their talent, and they're so deep. It just is very difficult to be consistent in moving the ball.
Hugh, when you talk about the
But
magnitude,
our offensive line, I thought, played well.
when you talk about the magnitude of the win and whatnot, what is your message now? How do you help these guys put it in the trash and move forward and play on an even key?
And those of you who follow this like you have, I think you know, man, we just, from day one, we had some brutal losses here just in our short time here that are gut-wrenching. And then we bounced back the next week and beat a number 6 LSU last year. And, that's kind of the way we go about it. And I've always done that with our staff. And we'll approach tomorrow just like Sunday. When I walk in here, our team will be sitting here, and I'll say, Sunday is about thee, and they all say the truth. And I will share with them the good, the bad, the ugly, from everything that we experienced this week. It's a phenomenal win. We'll congratulate them. But if you really want to go from good to better than good, to be relevant, you better forget this one. We're going to go play an angry team in a difficult environment next week.
You spoke of what you said to the team at halftime, just play hard for 30 minutes, play to the end of the game, whatever. It could have been easy for the team to go into the locker room after that bad play. And Hank, and you talked about the makeup of this team. Did you see that they were still confident in handling themselves well?
Yeah, again, you followed us for 2 years and 5 games, and our team has never quit, not a single time. Even when we got beat that first year bad by Texas here, they fought to the end, had a goal line stand at the end, and we're not going to quit. We're going to fight to the end. So that never was a real question in my mind. Whether or not you stop Alabama and score points, I don't know, but I knew our kids were going to fight. So that didn't. That's one of the trademarks, number one on our program, is you play for 60 minutes.
Coach, talk about Golson's time at Ole Miss, and then obviously coming up with the interception there at the end.
Yeah,
His performance.
It's well documented, my feelings for him. Tried to run him off when I first got here. Didn't think he would ever make it in this program. He was not bought in. Didn't understand how to work. Did not want to be great. And now we got a guy in there that's, I don't know if he's still leading the league in interceptions, that stands on the podium in the locker room and, hey guys, it's a great man, protect this team. And he's not only saying it, he really is doing it. He's not showing up on lists, and that's as rewarding to me, to see lives changed in a positive way, and hopefully will lead him to being a productive young man in society, and a good husband and a good father. And right now I can look him in his eyes and tell him I'm extremely proud of him, and that wasn't always the case.
Coach, talk about the first drive, the second half. They got the fumble for the touchdown right before the half, and then they came out and kind of moved the ball down the field, and there about 35 or so our defense kind of rose up and made a big stop. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, that was very critical. That first drive of the second half could really set the tone for the remainder of the game. And once again, our defense against a very talented offense gave up some drives, some yards and some first downs, but bent, and I believe that's the one they missed the field goal. We created a couple of negative plays there that pushed them back a little bit, and got a good push on the field goal, and that was a big miss for us.
Coach, did you say anything particular to Bo before one of those final 2 drives in the game there? Also, you mentioned he managed the game well, but what specifically do you think he did best today?
I didn't force anything. Used his legs. I told him all week, man, hey, it's okay, use your legs. Run for 1, run for none. Throw a check down, throw it out of bounds. Just don't force anything. And I can't think of a throw right now that he forced. He missed a couple in the first half. We had a little third down deal that was wide open, and just made a bad throw, and and comes to the sideline and said, Coach, I just missed it, man. I just made a bad throw. And, the last couple of drives, I just said, hey, same thing, just keep managing it. We found something. We got this, and this, 3 things that is going to be open. We're going to get to them. Just give me a chance to make sure I feel right about it. And then right before we scored the third down touchdown to Jalen, he and I just talked. I had 2 things in my mind, and I asked him which one he felt best about, and that's the one we went with.
All right, guys, thanks. We're going to bring players in now.